The murder trial of Erin Patterson has moved into its fourth week. As the mercury in Morwell drops, there's no sign that interest in this case is fading. Erin Patterson has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder after her former in-laws Don and Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson all died after they were served a lunch laced with death cap mushrooms in July 2023. Ian Wilkinson was the only surviving guest. Erin Patterson has pleaded not guilty and says the deaths were an accident. Today, the court heard from Victoria Police digital forensics expert Sharman Fox-Henry, who examined digital devices seized from Erin Patterson's home on the 5th of August 2023. On one phone seized from the accused's home, messages were extracted from Facebook Messenger with online friends. Messages from a user named Erin were read to the court. I said to him about 50 times, I don't want them to adjudicate. Nobody bloody listens to me. He said all he can ask is that Simon and I get together and pray for the children. This family, I swear to God, the user wrote. In relation to Simon's parents, the user said, I'm sick of this shit. I want nothing to do with them. Earlier in the trial, the prosecution told the court the accused and her estranged husband, Simon Patterson, remained amicable and shared custody of their 2 children. They stayed in regular close contact and went on family holidays together. But there was tension between Erin and Simon over financial matters and child support payments. In more messages read to the court, user Erin wrote, his mum was horrified I had claimed child support. Why isn't she horrified her son is such a deadbeat that I had no choice but to claim? Sharman Fox-Henry told the court he was asked to analyse several devices seized by police from Erin Patterson's home on August 5, 2023 and make copies of their storage devices. He was then asked to enter key search words related to the investigation, such as death cap mushroom, death cap mushrooms, mushrooms and poison. One of the forensic reports undertaken by Fox-Henry of a computer seized from Erin Patterson's home showed a year before the lunch there had been a Bing search by someone with access to the computer to citizen science website iNaturalist.org on the 28th of May 2022. 15 seconds later there was a record made from the same website of a specific page marking an observation of death cap mushrooms. The Supreme Court this week also heard in the months before the lunch, more sightings of death cap mushrooms were posted to the iNaturalist website. Poisons expert Christine McKenzie made an observation of death cap mushrooms at Lock on April 18, 2023. The court heard evidence that Erin Patterson's phone connected to cell towers nearby on the 28th of April. 3 weeks later, on May 21st, mycologist Dr. Thomas May posted about death cap mushrooms in Outram. The court heard, 24 hours later, that same phone number pinged cell towers in Outram. Cell tower location data covers broad areas. Defence barrister Colin Mandy challenged some of Dr. Matthew Sorrell's evidence, saying,
your conclusion for almost all of the examples of possible visits that you found was that data allows for the possibility of a visit.
It allows for the possibility of being in the area, yes.
But the data does not necessarily indicate that there was a visit to those locations?
There's nothing to indicate that there was a specific visit to a particular address, no.
The prosecution has previously told the court Ms. Patterson deliberately poisoned the lunch guests and then faked symptoms afterwards in order to conceal her guilt. The defence argues Ms. Patterson did eat some of the same meal despite not falling as sick. Earlier in the trial, the jury heard Erin Patterson presented to Leongatha Hospital 2 days after the lunch, complaining of diarrhoea and nausea. The prosecution told the jury Erin Patterson had informed her children that she felt sick throughout the evening after the lunch. The next day, she drove her son to a flying lesson an hour away. This week, the court was shown CCTV from inside a service station at Caldermead, where she stopped on the way to the flying lesson. It showed Erin Patterson entering the toilet before emerging 9 seconds later. Today, nurse Mayram Sesbon, who was working at Leongatha Hospital, told the court she saw Erin Patterson when she arrived 2 days after the lunch, complaining of feeling sick and suffering diarrhoea. Erin Patterson's bowel chart from July 31st showed 5 bowel motions. The nurse told the court she observed clear liquid with small, solid brown bits, and that this was not unusual in people suffering diarrhoea. Earlier in the trial, Victoria's chief toxicologist, Dimitri Gerastimoulis, gave evidence about the mushroom toxin tests of each of those at the lunch. Samples taken from Don Patterson and Ian Wilkinson tested positive to Amanita phalloides mushroom toxins, but none were detected in Heather Wilkinson or Gail Patterson's samples. In the case of Erin Patterson, who had 2 blood samples taken 51 hours after the lunch, Prosecutor Sarah Lenthal asked Dr. Gerastimoulis,
"And alpha-amanitin and beta-amanitin, were either of those collected in either the blood sample or serum F sample?"
No, they were not detected in those samples.
None were detected in samples from Erin Patterson's 2 children who ate leftovers from the meal. Today, in the final hour of proceedings, Victoria Police digital forensics expert Sharman Fox-Henry told the court that data could not be retrieved from one of Erin Patterson's phones because it had been factory reset 3 times in the days following the lunch. The trial will continue tomorrow.